Let's do this, Carrie. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rosheka Chandra, and I am a career change and life transition coach from Ignite Your Soul with Rosheka. Today, we had a bit of a glitch, so we're not live. We're actually coming recorded. And we'd love to welcome everyone here. If you're watching us on replay, hashtag replay, send us your comments and questions because we're going to have a really fantastic episode here with Carrie. Carrie Hartley is my guest today. And let's introduce Carrie. Carrie is a certified NLP practitioner, a clinical hypnotherapist, and a professional coach. Very impressive, Carrie. Welcome. Nice to hear from you. Can you please introduce and tell us a bit more about you?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for having me, Rosh. It's a pleasure to be here with you on a Friday night. So, a little bit about me. I am privileged to be a life coach and a hypnotherapist, which just means that I help my clients bypass their beautiful big thinking brain and access that gorgeous unconscious brain that runs the show for them. So I help my clients tap into some of their intuition or identify some of those blocks that might be holding them back to elevate their relationships, their career, their business, whatever it is for each individual. It's actually quite different, the people that I coach. And I tend to attract a lot of busy working mums like myself who also perhaps have some health and fitness goals also, which is something else I'm passionate about.
Wow, just the person I want to talk to about our viewers who are probably feeling this question about intuition and calling, but talking about is just not happening, or it's something not a lot of us talk out loud.
Yeah.
That is the reason our topic is so interesting today. That career is not a problem, but ignoring our calling is.
Yes.
How does that sit with you, that topic?
I love this topic when you suggested it because it absolutely speaks to the work that we do and particularly the clients that I'm talking to. And it speaks to my story as well because I can really resonate with there's a lot of talking, but that talking, a lot of it was monkey chatter, me talking to myself. I was too busy doing that I didn't stop to actually listen to my body, listen to that calling, if you like. There were plenty of signs, but actually slowing down enough to recognize them was where I think a lot of us sometimes are challenged. And life's busy these days, right? Like, I'm sure you can resonate being a mum, being a businesswoman. We've got a few things that we're juggling. Our phone's pinging all day long. Kids need something. Your emails are going off. We're studying. We're big in personal development and growth. And there's always something we can be doing, right? So it's just about how do we slow that down and identify where our time is best spent and really take care of ourselves and fill our own cup so that we can access that intuition because it's there. We've all got it, particularly as women. It is there.
Wow. I think you touched a lot of great points there. The biggest one is the busyness that everybody talks about these days, right? I'm busy. I'm so busy. I'm keeping busy. I've got this, I've got that. I don't have time for myself. And when you mentioned intuition is stopping, pausing, listening in.
Yeah.
How do you actually do that with a busy life?
Okay, so two things come to mind, and I love this conversation, Rosh. So, two things. Number one, doing nothing is doing something. Like, just let that sit for a minute. Like, doing nothing is doing something.
Yeah.
For those women out there who still can't hear me, doing nothing is doing
Oh,
something.
I
How often have you been looking for something or you've got a million things going in your mind and it's not until you sleep on it or you walk away from the problem and you take time out that then all of a sudden that thought or that idea comes to you.
yes.
So it's actually allowing yourself the space to just slow down. And the second point is around our language. Are we really that busy? Are we? Or are we choosing all these things?
Wow. Yes,
Because what we tell ourselves makes a big difference to how we process it. If
absolutely.
I'm busy and I don't have any time, then that's exhausting, right? But what if I'm choosing to coach my daughter's netball team because that makes me feel great and I get to spend quality time with her? Like, what if I'm choosing that? So it's not something I'm adding into my week, it's something I'm choosing because it aligns with my values. And what if I'm choosing to say no sometimes? Ooh, I'm sure you've covered that topic before.
No, I love it because the same thing we look in different directions, and pausing and looking at busyness is so
Mm,
important. Because I myself have been doing that. Like, I'm wearing so many hats and it looks like I'm moving, I'm doing,
mm,
and go, 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 go. And I have stopped doing that too.
mm.
I don't have to fill all the boxes.
Yeah,
Recently, I realized that the thing that I want to grow is where I get to put
yeah,
the
where you
most
choose
energy,
to.
right?
Yeah,
The most energy where I focus on is what it's going to grow.
yeah.
If I have these little boxes of all these things, okay, I'm going to study, I'm going to, do the business, I'm going to work, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. So there's all this energy going into all the
Mm,
boxes. And I realized not things were moving, but it wasn't moving as I wanted it to move. So I would look
mm,
at one thing and I'd say, why isn't this happening the way I
mm.
want to? I'm doing everything, but it's still not moving. And I had this moment, a time for a few weeks where I'm like,
Yeah.
slow down. I don't need to attend that. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that.
Yes.
And then sort of like there was this big realization that the channeling of energy into this priority box,
Yeah.
and I could see it very clearly
Mm,
how we leak energy when we
yeah.
say we're busy. And
And
that
I'm sure you deal with women in that space all the time. Like, it's easy to get overwhelmed when we're in that busy, busy, busy masculine doing, doing, doing. And I remember when I was stuck in that, you can't see your way out of it at the time because you're too busy doing. You do and it wasn't until I reflected that I was doing stuff for people. They hadn't even asked me to do it half the time. Like, I was just, I've got to do it, I've got to do it. And this was probably my safe problem, if you like my way of being super mum and being really helpful and being really thoughtful to please my ego. What I didn't realize was it wasn't pleasing myself, and it was draining and it's exhausting. And so now, guess what? I'm not super mum anymore. Like, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with ditching the super mum tag.
that's a good one, because you touched it on mine too recently, because my son's 18, right? And there's times when I worry about what he eats or
Mm,
when he needs to go from A to B like a child. And recently I realized that, and I asked him, is this part of being adult, or do I need to be a mom and do this? Like, I asked myself, and I said, you know what? Ask him as well. Just hear from him what he needs for a change.
yeah,
Like, no, I can take care of it. And I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, so now you can change your
programming.
story. He's okay. He's a young man, and you've brought him up that he's got this.
Yeah, but that was a programming, right, from
Yeah,
childhood.
yeah.
Because being a mom doing that all the time, it was running um, like a program
Mm,
automatically. It was on automatic, and just pausing and thinking, does he really need this? Or am I just doing it because
mm,
out of habit? And
yeah.
it changed that. Like, I don't have to think about his food anymore. Like, not
Mm,
that much. I do cook, but I don't have to think for him what he's going to eat. Because a lot of
yeah,
moms do that, right?
yeah.
For
Because you have done for 18 years, right?
yeah, I don't have to do that anymore.
And I always think of mums as a classic example of juggling the glass balls. Like we're constantly juggling all these balls. You know, we've got work, we've got business, we've got friends. I haven't caught up with my mum for a while, or all these different things. I need to check in on this person. I've got to do something for the school, whatever it might be. We've all got our glass balls and we're juggling all of these things all the time. But what if it was okay just to put one ball down and just go, it's okay, I need to focus on these balls at the moment. So I'm just going to put these balls down for a little bit. And that's okay. I can pick them back up later. Like we're not dropping balls, we're not smashing them. We're just choosing which ones we're nurturing at any time and choosing which ones are okay to put down for a little while. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to roll away. They're okay.
Wow, that's a great analogy of balls. And imagine if you were having all the balls on your arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how the mental load looks like. That's how
Mm.
time and energy looks like. It's overloaded, right?
Yeah. And if we want to access our intuition and really listen to this calling and tune into it, we've got to choose where we're focusing our time and energy because that's what's going to guide us for the universe to provide what we're looking for. And the universe is constantly doing that. What we're thinking about, what takes our attention is what our unconscious mind will start giving us on a platter. You know, if you're worried about things and you're fearful of all sorts of different things happening, then your mind is going to be programmed to show you all the things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And it's going to dish them all up to you. And likewise, if you're focused on, you know, listening to that calling inside and picking up on opportunities and trusting your gut and seeing where it takes you and being open to new possibilities, it's going to start throwing up some sparkly rainbows for you to chase down.
Yeah, I love how you touched this part where you're this is before you went into coaching. Sort of like you might have experienced these. So what was life like that? Like before? Because I can hear, see so much you've learned and so much you've shared.
Yeah.
For our listeners, people who probably started on this journey and they're like, there is something called calling and people are talking about it. But how was your life before you found that?
So I feel like I've had a couple of different stages to my life already. So I'm coming up to mid 40s. Oh, who cares? I'm 44 and I own it. I don't care. So
What's that here?
I had 18 years in the corporate world and it was in my blood. I loved it. And I was married to the job, if you like. I had several careers in a financial institution. And I remember one of the callings I had as a branch manager, I knew that I was at that stage where I'd been a branch manager for 7 years and I was looking for what was next. I totally loved strategy around financial planning and the impact you can have in people's lives. And so I just finished my degree in financial planning and I had actually accepted a position that was going to be coming up in a few months' time when someone was retiring. And it just happened to be that the universe provided me with an opportunity when I was running a branch managers meeting, as I was acting in the area office role at the time. And a new EM had come into the business for Queensland who was looking to build the credibility of a coaching team. And so after the branch managers meeting, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, what do you do? Like, who are you? And can you come and help me build a coaching team? And I want to level up to start coaching leaders and executive level coaching. And it was like that sliding doors moment. Like I could have gone down financial planning and buried myself in paperwork. And here the universe gave me the opportunity, which just seemed to happen. However, I put myself in that position and I listened to it. And I said, yeah, I think there's an opportunity here. Jumped on board, and he was one of the most inspiring leaders that I've ever worked for. And I learned so much from him. And if Steve Sharp ever watches this, God love you. Incredible man. But from there, it was the corporate world, and then life changed. I had kids, and the corporate world at the time, we talked a good game around work-life balance and taking care of staff. I didn't really feel it, if I'm being honest. I was in a, senior leadership coaching role and I was reporting I was working in Brisbane, but reporting to Sydney. There was a lot of travel, which I loved when I was, on single disposable income and traveling the world. But when you've got two little babies at home, life had changed. So I found myself in digital marketing. Perfect. Again, fit for purpose at the time. Was part-time. I could raise my babies, still work, still get that engagement with other people, feel like a sense of contribution. But again, I got to that point, my kids were getting older, they're in primary school, and I'm like, what's next? Again, I don't see myself here in a couple of years, so what am I doing about it? And that's when life threw me lots of clues. So we had lots of external family challenges come at us. We were carers for parents that were transitioning into aged care and nursing them back to health, and lots of different things which were putting pressure on our marriage. Like my home wasn't the happy home that I envisaged for my kids. And for me, it was that calling of going back to working on myself and working out what was going on for me. I connected with a couple of different coaches. We did some coaching with myself and my partner. And I'm like, this is it. Like I just need to explore this coaching a little bit more. And so then I did another course, and then I met with another coach. And then I ended up at the International Coaching Institute, which was, wow, over 2 years ago now. And pleased to say that today I'm part of the faculty at the International Coaching Institute. I mentor students at the International Coaching Institute. I'm full-time in my coaching business / business consulting and running family businesses, which 3 years ago were toxic, and it was like the weight of the world was on me. And I just wasn't, I just didn't have time to come up and take a breath and figure out what I was doing, because I think I was just wearing way too many hats at the time. So for me, I had to, I didn't have to, but I came to the decision that something had to give. And so I gave up my part-time digital marketing role. I didn't have a plan exactly.
Wow.
My plan was trust myself that I've got this. And it wasn't until I did that new opportunities started to present themselves for me. That I was trusting me, and then it was, okay, I can see this path, I can see this path, I can see this path, and now I get to choose. And now I get to choose how much time I spend, in the businesses, how much time I spend coaching, how much time I spend mentoring. And I've had a couple of beautiful conversations today with one of my clients and somebody else around the coaching space, and it just lights me up. Like the change, that we can help people achieve. And the more I learn about the brain and what's possible, the more I realize there is to learn. Like we're just scratching the surface. We're just getting started.
Wow, Carrie, that was a long, sort of like a very steep, high mountain that you came over.
Yeah, and I feel like it definitely had its ups and downs. I don't mind a challenge. Climbing a mountain's kind of fun for me too.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a lot happened in that part of your life before coming to that alignment or the calling.
Mm.
And what was the most resisting part that you faced along this journey? Because I find this very, very inspirational. And
The
thank
fear.
you so much for sharing that with us, because there's a lot of people who resonate with your story.
Mm.
And when we're on this path of self-discovery and discovering our deeper calling, and we have all this career, family, and you had so much going on, what sort of resistance did you come across that you could share with our listeners?
Yeah. Look, not everyone was on board with it. So the resistance in me was the fear, am I good enough? Can I do this? What will people think of me? Is everyone judging me? Who am I? Like all of these things. And sometimes they still come up, but then I remind myself who I actually am. And there's still some of my closest friends that have no idea what I do. Like they know I do this coaching thing, but for a lot of my close circle, even, it's that fluffy stuff. And that's okay. It's not their thing and it doesn't have to be. But what I found was my support group. What I found was my people. And when I found different coaching connections through my exploration with personal development and coaches that I worked with or mentors that I sought out, it was like I found my people again. And I remembered when I was in my prime in my corporate career and I was in that coaching space and it felt amazing. And the people that I worked with, the people in my team, we were all inspiring each other. Like we were doing great things together. And I find for me, it's finding my people. It's knowing who to share what with, right? Like I'm not going to go and talk to my friend who's got no interest in what I'm doing about like how much I'm digging my job or what's happening. But I will go and there's certain people that I absolutely want to go and celebrate with and champion each other and get excited about things. So it's just knowing who those people are. So for me, it was definitely who are my support people that bring out the best in me, that I feel good being around, that want to see me succeed. They're the people that I give more time and energy to now. Those other people are still in my life, but they can come along at their own pace. That's fine.
I
I'm
think
not here to drag anyone along.
this is so cool. This is the one of the most important topics that everybody probably wants to know or faces is about people. What would people think of me? Who would support me? Would I be accepted? This people thing. And you explained so beautifully that everyone doesn't have to get you.
Yeah.
And you have people for different supports. People
Yeah.
do different things for you. They don't have to have the other part. And that is so important. I think that's a great takeaway to live your life by.
Well said, Rosh. Well said. We've all got needs, right? Just know who to go to for particular needs. If I want to have a wine, I'm going to my girlfriend's house, okay? Because the cheese board's out, the wine's ready to go anytime, okay? But if I want to, talk business or celebrate my coaching, I'm not going to her, okay? I'm going somewhere else.
It's like you want to
I'm
go
for
to the
different things.
doctor, but you go to the hairdresser.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, why don't they get me? Like,
Yeah.
why
And
are you fixing me, hairdresser? Or come out of the doctors with some random hairdo going, what just happened? Got
yeah,
the wrong person.
that's right. Going to the right person, having the right people around you, being among the people who are doing the same thing as you. And
Mm,
and everybody's got a journey on these different journeys that we all have. And there's a journey that's together that's done. And what's one most important one that I want to touch a little bit deeper is that a lot of people think of what other people think, and they don't even know who these other people are, but they're thrown around like anything. What would people think? Because this is
mm,
a thing that happens in the mind naturally, right?
yeah.
That what would people think when I do this?
Mm,
The
yeah.
judgment.
Totally. So we all have that, right? Because we've all had past experiences. It's part of the, human condition. All of that is stored in our unconscious mind. Absolutely everything we've experienced is in there. However, here's the secret. You can actually rewire your brain to just keep the stuff you like and let go of anything that's not serving you. Because something that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, most people are not aware they're still carrying that with them today. So one of the things I'm sure you help a lot of your clients with as well is letting go of those deeper emotions that have got a hook on them, so that when they've got this, this hurt from the past or a fear of judgment, not being good enough,
Fear of
they
failure,
can, yeah, fear of failure, of course,
biggest one. Yeah.
that they can let go of that from the past so that they're not carrying all this baggage with them as they try and do something brave and unknown that they haven't experienced before. And then they can start with a clean slate. They can have their vision board and go after it, knowing that they're starting from the start line and they haven't got the backpack that's pulling them backwards.
And
So
this
really letting go of, all of those old emotions that are stored in the body, all those old stories, they're not helpful. We all have them. A lot
and
of us have
can
got
be
them on
done
replay.
yeah, and this can be done through coaching, and this
Yeah.
work we do of getting unstuck, get,
Yes.
letting go of the stories and the fear and the emotion that you've just mentioned. And it's so amazing. Imagine, I mean, not having all those things that is heavy and getting to create what we want to create, what you want to create.
Yeah. And all those major negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, shame, they all can be so damaging to the body. So they can show up as disease. They can show up as not being able to lose the weight. There's lots of different ways that they show up in our bodies, which are warning signs from our body to pay attention to something. And if we get those warning signs early enough, or we're actually paying attention to them, we slow down enough to actually pay attention and choose something different. Imagine when you just start with that clean slate, when
Yeah.
you feel light, when there's no baggage from the past that's holding you back.
And imagine, yeah, imagine all that, the stuff that you're thinking about, what people are thinking, or if you're going to make it on the other side, or all those other things, it's not there. Imagine
Yeah.
it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What would life be like?
Yeah. What would you choose to do?
So freeing and so liberating.
It is freeing and it is liberating. And I say that from experience because I've done this work over the last few years. And every time I go deeper, it's like peeling an onion back. It's like you're crying. You don't even know why you're crying, but it's like happy tears. It's like you're releasing emotions and you're like, what's happening? Like your conscious mind has no idea what's happening. And your unconscious mind is just processing some stuff. And there's some neural pathways doing some little wiring and firing and some little cool things. And it does it all for us. All you need is someone to help guide you through that process.
Yeah. For all our viewers watching, we do this onion thing where we peel onions and we cry and we release all those things that hold us back. And this is the amazing work that coaching can help you achieve. So if you're willing to discover yourself deeper, find your calling, live your authentic self, and like Carrie mentioned, it can happen. You can live a life from a new slate. It's possible. The technology, the availability, everything is here today. Science has proven it.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it.
And we don't need to know all the answers. We don't need to know the how. We just need to take the first step.
And that's it.
Just one small step. And then the next step. And then the next step.
That was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all the stories so openly, Carrie.
Can't believe we're nearly out of time. Gone fast, Rosh.
Yeah, and sometimes the job that we're doing doesn't mean we're broken. It just means we haven't reached where we want to reach, isn't it? And that's what we want to give to our listeners today.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to bring up, that no one is broken. It just is what it is. It's just whether you are willing to just accept your reality and take responsibility for it. Let go of the blame, let go of the stories, and go, okay, like this is where I'm at in my life. This is what I like. If I could change a couple of things, it might be this or that. Okay, so what would be the next step? And just start asking for what you want.
Yeah, just pause, tap in deeper, and listen to that whisper, right? There's a whisper that comes from the inside.
And when you listen to that whisper and when you're clear on what you want, then the universe is marvelous at putting things in your path. Yeah. I'll share a quick little example if I can. So I went for a walk the other day. I've been training for a 35-kilometer walk. So I went for a walk and there was an op shop and I thought, I just felt I wanted to go. For some reason, I'm like, I'm just going to go in here and have a look. I've been wanting to buy a black long puffer jacket because I've taken on netball coaching for my daughter and I wanted a new jacket thinking it's going to be really cold in winter nights. I thought, I'm just going to, for some reason, I just felt the urge to go into this shop and have a look. So I walked in there and what do I find on the rack? The long black puffer vest with the hood, like exactly what I was looking for. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? Like, and I'm like, beautiful. Like, yes, we'll take that. But there's so many times that little things will happen and it's just accepting that we can only consciously process so much, and there's so much that our unconscious mind is taking in. So when you can channel that focus to starting to pick up all of these beautiful things that are happening in your life, and gratitude's one of the easiest practices to start accessing it. Just watch how the little things happen.
Such a beautiful message. Very, very, very deep.
Mm. And you just have to slow down long enough to smell the flowers, like to hear the messages.
To visualize what you want, like you visualized your jacket.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was so wonderful. Thank you, Kerry. We had so much fun today learning about your life and your journey.
Thank you, Rosh. Great to rock out with you.
And I'm sure our viewers would get lots of gold nuggets from your journey and how coaching can help change lives.
Good night, Queen.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.